Okay, so let's talk about something that can be a real source of anxiety for any salaried person. You look at your payslip, you see that tax has been deducted, and you just trust that it's all handled, right? But what if it's not? What if that money never actually makes it to the government? It's a scary thought, so today we're going to clear it all up and give you a definitive answer.
Right, so let's really paint the picture here. You've done your part. You worked, you earned, and you saw the tax deducted at source, or TDS, right there on your payslip. You assume you're all clear. But what happens if somewhere down the line you find out your employer collected that cash but never actually paid it over to the tax department? Does that massive problem suddenly land right back in your lap? Are you on the hook for it?
To really get to the bottom of this, we've got to push past that gut-wrenching feeling and look at what the law actually says. And the good news is, you're not the first person to worry about this. There's a proper, official legal framework for exactly this situation. And here we go. Our source material gets right to the heart of it. This isn't just some vague discussion. This is the exact legal question that's been debated. Can a tax officer demand that money from you, the employee, just because your company dropped the ball? That is the absolute core of the issue. So let's find out what the official word is. All right, so after all that buildup, let's get to the answer you've been waiting for. When it comes to this incredibly stressful question, what does the law say? Is the tax man going to come knocking on your door? The answer, and you can take a massive sigh of relief right now, is a big, clear, definitive no. You are absolutely not liable just because your employer failed to pay. And listen, this isn't just our opinion. This comes directly from the Supreme Court of India, the final word on the matter. Their ruling is crystal clear. You, the taxpayer, cannot be forced to pay a tax a second time simply because the person who deducted it, in this case your employer, didn't do their job. So knowing the answer is no is great, but understanding why you're protected is even better. This isn't some tiny loophole, it's a really solid legal protection. Think of it as being built on 3 strong pillars. Let's break them down so you know exactly what your defense is. So your protection is actually layered, which makes it incredibly strong. It's like a 3-part shield. First, there's a specific law. Second, that law was tested and confirmed by the highest court in the land. And third, a direct order was sent to the tax authorities themselves, telling them how to handle it. First up is the foundation of your entire defense, Section 205 of the Income Tax Act. The wording here is so important. It creates a bar, basically a legal roadblock, that stops the tax department from coming directly to you for tax that's already been deducted. The moment it's taken from your salary, the government's claim shifts from you to your employer. Now you might be thinking, okay, a law is one thing, but has it actually been tested in court? And the answer is yes. It went all the way to the Supreme Court. They looked at Section 205 and completely upheld it, confirming that the moment TDS is deducted from your pay, your legal responsibility is finished. It's settled. The ball is no longer in your court. And for the final layer of protection, just to make sure every single tax officer got the message loud and clear, the Central Board of Direct Taxes, or CBDT, sent out a formal instruction, a memo to their own people. It explicitly told them, do not go after the employee in these situations. The focus must be on the employer who failed to pay. Okay, so we've gone through the law, the Supreme Court's decision, and even the internal instructions for tax officers. Let's boil it all down to the one single thing you absolutely need to remember from all of this. Here it is, plain and simple. The second that tax deduction shows up on your payslip, your legal duty to pay that tax is officially done. It's fulfilled. From that point on, the responsibility to get that money to the government belongs 100% to your employer. Their failure is their problem, not yours. So you are legally protected. And that is a huge, huge relief. But that brings us to one final, really practical question. How do you go from playing defense to playing offense? Instead of just knowing you're protected if something goes wrong, how can you be proactive and actually check that your tax is being deposited properly all along? That right there is the next step every single one of us should be taking.